Call a meeting to order.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Here.
Tanya?
Here.
Graziano?
Here.
Nattari?
Here.
Robel?
Here.
Strumelob Burke? Mayor Melham will be joining us shortly.
Sunshine notice?
Pursuant to the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was published in the Thursday, July 7th editions of the Belleville Times and Star Ledger. A copy of the annual meeting notice has been posted on the Belleville Town Hall Bulletin Board, and copies are on file in the municipal clerk's office.
Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Discussions? Like to discuss alcohol beverage control?
Hi.
Chief?
Kelly and I will explain this real briefly, Deputy Mayor. We have some charges. You can use the mic. Yes, sure. We'll explain this very briefly. I'm going to take off. We need to schedule an excise board hearing. Our local ABC has some charges against 2 local establishments, and we discussed this at prior meetings. We feel it's important that local governing bodies start having a say in these matters instead of forwarding them to the state. All right. Kelly, did you give a copy of this, everyone?
Yes, I did.
Okay, well, there's a process that needs to go on to schedule. What I'd like to know from the council tonight is we want to go ahead and have this excise board meeting, and then Kelly will take it from there, and we'll need to notify our municipal prosecutor and our township attorney, and we'll schedule it. So it's basically what it's all about today. We do have one other thing to discuss. It was found out by one of my local ABC officers too. Our liquor stores are under the same time frame as our taverns and bars. Me and Kelly discussed it. We feel maybe we should change the time on that. That will require an ordinance amendment.
Okay.
So that was the only other discussion we had.
Thank you, Chief.
Maybe we'll close them early.
Thank you, Chief. Is anybody up here? Councilman Robel?
I'm good. Let's do a meeting.
All right, so Kelly and I will get together. We'll start the
Yeah.
We
meeting.
have to treat it like a regular meeting.
Yeah, Chief, in the
So
past,
we
we just
I have
added
to
to
give
it.
notice to
Yeah.
newspapers, so.
We've done it like an hour before this council meeting.
Yeah.
It'd be
I don't see
separate.
anything wrong with that, but I think, like Kelly says, it will
Whenever it is,
be
you can do it
a
on the same-
public meeting.
Yeah,
It will be public.
Just do it at 5 o'clock on the day of a council meeting or something, whatever.
That's all
Is
right.
that
Or if
fair?
there's 2 people, one at 5, one at 5:30, right, you have to schedule it.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with that at all.
Councilman Burke, do you have anything?
No, just scheduling a meeting.
Kelly and I will
Just to
let the
give,
court know, and, go ahead, Kelly, I'm sorry.
just to give myself enough time, I'd like to do the last meeting in October, just so, because we know notice has to go to
Whatever you need,
the
Kelly.
establishment. And
Establishment,
have to give them a
we got
chance to
a
get
person
attorney.
up, we need to give notice to,
Yeah.
and our prosecutor needs to make sure they have the time to prosecute the case.
So thank you for that update, Chief.
You're welcome. Any questions? No?
No, we're good.
Okay.
I think we actually did it a couple times before. Yeah.
It's been a while.
2005 was
Yeah,
the
a little
last
while.
time.
It's a little while. No.
What, last one was...
2005.
Last one was...
We're not going to say the one in the lake.
That was the last one.
The
I want to
last
say
one.
2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, this should be like every year.
Well, whatever we have charged.
Whatever you have charges, you're right. Okay, I guess, ended that discussion, so, Mayor?
That was also in discussion.
We agreed to amend that, so I'll draft it up and I'll give it to Kelly for the next meeting.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. So let the record reflect that I am here, and we're going to move on with the report of the manager.
Good afternoon. I figured I'd bring you up to speed on some of our street and engineering projects. Be a good time. Our lead line replacement, this is a requirement from the state. We are out to bid. Actually, bids are out to bid on October 3rd. So hopefully by mid-November, we will start the approximately 400 homes These homes are in the Drummond Reservoir area. They've been identified, but they haven't received their letter yet. So we do have a plan in place, and hopefully by November, we're going to execute what we consider phase one of the lead line replacement. Also, some good news on our streetscape project. We were out to bid. The bids are being reviewed, and again, we'd like to think that we're going to hopefully award at the next meeting. And this is for the streetscape project, not to be mistaken with the Route 7 project. And this includes replacing sidewalks, adding some brick pavers, striping, some planter boxes along Washington Avenue, and pedestrian lighting. And that's the decorative lighting that we have. And when we award the contract, we could probably ask Tom Harrods to be available and to go over the project one more time. And then last but not least, we are about to undertake and start the DOT 2020 and 2021 road project, which includes 17 streets. So we're about to start that project mid-October. So there'll be a lot of communication with the community, because obviously anytime we do 17 streets, we don't do all 17 at the same time, but it does create, some traffic patterns. So communication clearly is key, and but we're happy to say that there's going to be 17 paved streets. And that's my report.
Any questions for the manager?
Through the chair, real quick. Did we get anything back from PSC and GS to their schedule of the streets that they're going to be paving, since they created havoc? No.
I will write myself a note and call or contact them.
Please, thank you.
Is our contact up in the air on,
The ETA is 1 hour, so if the meeting's quick, we can all watch 2 PSCG guys at the end of Washington and stuff. Hydraulic line.
Nice.
Yeah. Our tallest ladder doesn't get us to, and their ladder isn't going to make it.
I don't think anybody is.
So we're trying to get another
You would
hydraulic.
think Norfolk Clifton.
They're trying.
Should be
Hope it
interesting.
doesn't rain. Anybody else for the manager?
No lightning.
Okay, next on the agenda, report of the mayor. So, once again, thank you to the deputy mayor for chairing the beginning of the meeting. That was a discussion for ABC. I do own a liquor license, therefore I don't vote on ABC resolutions, nor do I sit in on discussions. So, mayor's report real quick, past events. We kicked off Hispanic Heritage Month with a great game between the Belleville Police Department and the Puerto Rican State Police. 2 games we fell just short. If the chief was there and not sunning himself, we probably would have fared a little better, but very respectable. I think it was 6-4 and 5-3. Very respectable. That was our kickoff to Hispanic Heritage Month, and we've had several other community events since then. We recently had the Farmers Market, the Green Fair. That was a joint effort between the school district and the township. The place was absolutely packed. Anything the school district does in that realm always gets a very, very high turnout. It was a good day. It was a perfect day, too. We had not 1 but 2 workshops for the Essex County Home Improvement Workshop Program. They were well attended. We did get some requests, Jackie, to maybe live stream or record those one time, but maybe if they do that again, we could just video it and put it out there. It's the same exact program, basically, as the township has. It's about a $22,000 grant. As long as you stay in the house for about 10 years, it's basically free money. So upcoming events, Saturday and Sunday this week. Saturday, October 1st and Sunday, October 2nd, townwide garage sales. I am pleased to report, Mr. Manager, that as of this morning, 156 responses, which breaks last record. So, no, there's more than 170.
179, I saw 10 minutes ago.
Right, so as of this morning, 156, now we're 179. So we're going to get really close to 200, and that's just a great community day for everybody. Also, this Saturday is a rabies clinic at the Franklin Avenue Firehouse from 11 to 1. Saturday, October 8th, our food truck festival, brand new location. It's going to be at the high school this year. We do have some music. We have about 15 gourmet food trucks coming in. That is going to be from 3 to 10. Okay, so we have to make a note to please change the website. It says 4 to 10. That was the initial date. It's going to be at the high school, brand new venue for that. You can park at number 7 school or at the high school. It's going to be a great day for all. Belleville Fire Department's doing a fire safety event day on October 14th at the Franklin Avenue Firehouse. And Sunday, November 13th, we just started advertising. It's our Veterans Day, so we do two things on Veterans Day. We do a 5K race, and we raise funds for our veterans organizations, and we also do our annual parade. Both of those will be done on Sunday, November 13th. 5K registration is online right now. It's belleville.5k.org. You can register right now and get early bird pricing for that. The race is going to commence at 9 o'clock and the parade at noon. Moving on to some news. We also, if you noticed outside the lobby of Town Hall and throughout some of the school districts, including Zentai Martial Arts School, we are raising relief efforts for both Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. This Friday is the deadline to drop off supplies. Information's on our town website, information's on our social media. Everything will be collected in conjunction with the school district. I know they're doing something in all the schools, and delivered down to Newark on Saturday. And they have graciously let us have some of their space in their container that's going over to both islands. Anchor program, I did a social media post about this. I think it's up maybe on the township website. I see a bunch of other mayors are talking about it. It is the new version of the homestead rebate. Rather than getting a rebate on your taxes, you get a check in the mail. So depending on, and it's not low salary. It's, I think the cap is $150,000. You get either a $1,500 check, or if you guys want to do the mayor's report, or you want me to finish it? The first level is $150,000, and you get a $1,500 credit. The second level, thank you, Madam Clerk and Mr. Manager, is $250,000, and that's, I think, a $1,000 check. It is not a rebate. You will get a check. This is, I've asked my accountant this, because I was suspicious when I first heard about it. I know other mayors are all starting to talk about it, so make sure you do that. Streetscape, the manager mentioned some streetscape. We have a meeting with the state on Friday to go over our Washington Avenue $12 or $13 million project that's going to come to Washington Avenue. Starbucks grand opening. They are open, yes. It was a soft opening on Friday. They have a grand opening scheduled for next week. Sunday, October 9th, Italian flag raising right here in Town Hall, then followed by our parade. I think parade's either 11 or 12. We start in Belleville and then Nutley. As always, if you have not signed up for our brand new or more recently new reverse 911 service, Nixle, please do so. I signed up my mother yesterday. It's very easy to do it online. Just go right to the town website and you put it in. Our track is nearly ready to go. I expect it'll probably be open by the time we have our next council meeting. Always check out our libraries, great programming going on there, and the community guarding groundhog chief is still at large. We may have to put your best men and women on that. That's it for me. Next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes.
You need a motion?
Yes, that would be good, a motion.
So moved.
Second it?
We have a motion made and second to approve the minutes. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
DePena?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg? Yes. Mayor Melham?
Yes. Communications.
A request received from the Nutley Belleville Columbus Day and Italian Heritage Month Parade Committee for permission to have a flag raising ceremony at Town Hall on Sunday, October 9th at 9 a.m.
I'm assuming that just goes right to the police department to
Correct.
make sure we're... Okay, next item on the agenda is ordinances on the table. I don't hear a motion to remove anything, so that looks like that's going to stay. We're off to public comments. Motion to open public commenting.
Motion.
Second it?
Motion made and second to open public comment. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
DePena?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Melham?
Yes. We are now open for public commenting. Any resident choosing to speak has 5 minutes to speak. While it can be wide-ranging topics, we do ask that you try and keep it to Belleville business. If you're interested in speaking, please raise your hand. I'll call on you. Come forward, state your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes. Mr. Frantantoni.
Good evening. First, Resolution 10 and 11. Financial grant, the area need redevelopment. It's another one. I don't understand. Those are perfectly good buildings. Why, again, are we declaring area need redevelopment?
No.
Could it be that...
We're not declaring an area need redevelopment.
You're asking the planning board to do it?
To investigate.
Yes,
Study.
again, don't play games. Could it be you're doing it because this developer mentioned in this thing is the guy that gave you $1,000 a plate party up in North Jersey?
No, it's not why.
Oh, no, that's not why. Well, it certainly looks fun. I think you ought to abstain from voting on this, with your involvement with this developer. It's public knowledge, and it's a disgrace.
Public knowledge, because I make it public knowledge and report every contribution.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't be doing this. And first of all, these developers are making money, our taxes go up, and they're not paying their fair share with all these pilots and tax abatements.
Just so the residents know, there will be a public hearing at the planning board where Mr. Frantantoni can definitely voice all of these opinions.
Yeah, well, we have problems with them too. You got all your flunkies on there, the rubber stamps. You got one or two. The only word, one guy, the only words I ever heard from him, all the years he's been on there, are yes. Never asked a question, never looked at the agenda and asked a question. Just sits there and vote yes, very quietly too. It's a disgrace who you put on there. Again, Mr. Iacona, the streetscape, is this on Washington Avenue?
Yes, sir.
Why are we doing this before the state does anything? I mean, they were out there 2 weeks ago doing mark out, so it looks like they're gonna start soon. I mean, they're gonna be ripping up the whole avenue. What do we?
Wait for the finish and then you can answer. Are you done with your commenting, Mr. Frantantoni?
No, there's a couple other things. You know, I've been telling you, we got our tax bills finally, about 6 months late, but no notice in there, like I've been asking you to do, warnings about illegal apartments. You know, with the flooding in New Jersey, here's an article, I just read this, with the deluge, a neighbor almost drowned in his basement apartment. Randy Scott remembers the crushing pressure as he squeezed and squeezed his rib crate to a tiny above-ground window over his kitchen sink in his basement apartment. So, you know, when are you going to crack down these basement apartments? Do we need people to die? East Orange, illegal apartment, caught on fire, 9 people died trying to get out.
As I say in every meeting, if you're aware of an illegal apartment, I would direct you to the second floor, which is the construction code department, and you could file it there and they can investigate it.
I did, I filed it once. He was brought to court, he got out, nobody double checks, a month later he rented again.
This
So
governing body
there's no
cannot investigate
enforcement.
illegal apartments. It
There
has
is
to be
no
construction code.
enforcement, and there's no warnings. I mean, you love to give public announcements to people. Why don't you put a strong public announcement that these basement apartments illegal, dangerous, and they will be enforced? You know, why don't you do that at one of your famous websites that you're always publishing things? And the other thing is, what's going on with the Great Lawn litigation? Back in 2015, I offered it, the legal expenses on there. I got a response from the clerk. I have the whole list home. 40 invoices from attorneys. I add them up, and this is back in 2015. $125,000 in legal fees for the Great Lawn. When are we going to settle this? Get the county to pay the guy, take the property back.
That was 7 years ago, Mr. Frantantoni. I wasn't even, most of the people here
Well,
weren't even.
again, and this is from 7 years ago. Who knows how much, I'll have to offer it again, how many, we're spending, the lawyers love this. And I think you guys gotta be in cahoots with these lawyers. Why aren't we taking the
Your time is up, Mr.
For
Frantantoni.
lawyers.
Mr. Frantantoni, your time is up. I'll let Mr. Iacono answer your question. And Mr. Iacono, you've been here for 3 years. I don't think we have really any legal fees regarding the Great Lawn at this point.
To the best of my knowledge.
Thank you. Can you just answer the streetscape question real quick?
Yes, real quick. So, the streetscape, which is not the state program, is geared towards the sidewalk and everything from the curb into the sidewalk, plant to the sidewalk.
The state's only doing the
The
asphalt.
state is actually doing, Washington Avenue would be one way in each direction, with certain corners having left lane turns.
According to their plans, they had a public meeting here. They're doing the sidewalk, planters and everything.
The streetscape is doing, and again, we're also talking, the streetscape program starts roughly around Graylock and goes towards Nutley. The state program, which is, we refer to 7 program, that starts on Mill Street and works its way through. But there's bump outs
and
Right.
one way going each direction with certain corners, left lane turns.
Thank you, Mr. Iacona. Anybody else with public
I
comment?
think it's a waste to wait till the state does it.
Two totally different projects. Mr. Drozdz.
Drozdz, 95 Dells. Mr. Frantantoni just pointed out resolution number 1011. Are you saying that the premier developers, or whatever he said the name, is not the same person that contributed to Team Melham?
I never said that. My e-letter reports state every single contribution I have, the exact
That's
names,
not what
addresses, I don't know offhand, but my e-letter report
You
says
told
every...
me I have 5 minutes to speak, so
Don't ask me questions that you want
let's
answers to that.
start subtracting the minutes here. All right, is it simple? Is it the same developer?
You don't want me to
You're
answer?
not going to answer me. You're going to tell
I
me.
try and answer, you don't want me to answer you.
You're not going to answer me, I know that.
Every time I try and answer you, you tell me to stop talking.
Who put this on the agenda?
Not me.
I mean, who had the brainstorm to say that area needs to be investigated by the planning board? Somebody had to put it on,
That
eight
goes
person.
through-
Now, 5 minds didn't think of the same thing.
That goes through our redevelopment team.
Who's the redevelopment team?
Honestly, the attorney here, Mr. Dean Donatello.
Okay, see, now you finally answered something, that's nice.
Listen, it was put out by the mayor and council, excuse me.
You're out of order, sir. Thank you.
Now, what I'm alluding to is, all I keep hearing is area redevelopment. I have an ordinance here that was passed recently by this town council saying the whole township council is in need of rehabilitation. So there is no need to spot zone properties for certain developers when they can get their 5 or 6 year tax break already. There's no need for that. And why would you want to tear down a building? I don't know what their intent with that building is if they get approved. What is the intent of that building? Is it, they're gonna knock it down? I mean, it's a beautiful building, and it was built, I think it's a historic landmark, because it was built in 1887 on top of that. So we do not need to spot zone that. In last meeting, I brought up a thing about the 3,200 square foot lot on Railroad Avenue or whatever, that's sold for $38,000. Recently, a lot sold on 36 Moore Place, 22 by 102, which is 2,200 square feet for $65,000. And I said to you, I asked you to table it because you're not getting enough money. And here it is. I have a comparison that somebody almost paid double the amount that you sold it for to some developer or whoever bought that. The curb painting, Mr. Iacona, I noticed you did my corner where I live. They painted the curbs yellow because I'm always complaining about parking by stop signs. But the question is, why only my block? What's the matter with the rest of the town? I'll finish up. And not only that, I think I mentioned it to
Mr.
you.
Drozdz, please direct your comments to the chair.
So the other thing is, why wouldn't it be easier to put a, like they have in Union City, West New York, Jersey City, they put out a white square in the corner so people don't park instead of painting curbs? That's what I see a lot of.
So you want us to look like Jersey City and North Bergen?
Well, we're heading there. That's the reason I'm bringing it up. Since you're trying to make this town look like Jersey City, Hoboken and whatnot, you might as well get the same things that they have. And the other thing, I have one more item here. On several occasions, I have requested the invoices, detailed invoices from Banker Group. He has 2 contracts. 2018, a $30,000 a year contract, and then another 30-year. That's $60,000 in contract. And Mr. Iacona, I'm going to give you this because I want to know why I'm being denied details. This is what I keep getting. Last item. All it says is consulting, $7,300. Every time I ask that question, $7,300, but what did he do for $7,300? Why can't I get the details? So here it is right here. I'll be on my 4th Oprah if I don't get an answer. This is all I get. Somebody has to answer to that. I asked for details. If you submit a bill...
Oprah is a request for public records.
Public records.
If that is the only record we have, that's all you're going to get.
Well, then why are you paying him?
I don't pay the bills.
Well, where's that money coming from? Maybe you can answer.
Time is up, sir. Thank you so much.
Can you answer that question at least? You stole 20 seconds from me, so I can utilize my 20 seconds.
Your time is up, Mary. Anybody else have public comment?
Answer my question.
Does anybody else have public comment? Mr. Sheldon, thank you.
Good evening, Michael Sheldon, 47 Floyd Street. First question, the garage sale taking place this weekend. I looked at the weather forecast this afternoon, they're forecasting rain, showers all day Sunday. Do you have a contingency plan if there's rain on either day to postpone the garage sale to the following weekend? By the way, the first time the town had a garage sale, 2016, when I was township webmaster, there were almost 250 participants the first time out. And to help the garage sales when I was township webmaster, I would produce an interactive map with little thumbtacks showing who was involved. It made it very easy for interested residents to maximize their time. They could see where there were clusters of garage sale participants. I'm willing to do that much for you. If you send me the list, I'll generate the map. A few moments ago, in response to Mr. Frantantoni's question about the premier developer contributions to you in his demand that you recuse yourself from ordinances 10 and 11, you said that he would have an opportunity when the A&R matter goes before the planning board to discuss this aspect. But yet, over the last several weeks, the hearing for Mr. Dorso, his warehouse, his storage facility on Main Street, the sound development, Mr. Pasillo's project, the new one south of the town hall. When I tried to discuss the campaign contributions from both gentlemen to you and Mr. Graziano, I was drowned out by your chair, Ms. Inaugurato. It even got to one point, and the video is on my YouTube channel if people want to verify this, it got so heated at one point that the planning board chair threatened to have me removed from this room if I continued talking about campaign monies going to certain members of the planning board. So you're being somewhat disingenuous when you told Mr. Frantantoni you'll have an opportunity to discuss financial matters and complications.
I never, ever said 10 minutes ago, Mr. Frantantoni, that he could discuss financial matters at the planning board. I said he could discuss his opinions about the development. I never said financial matters. Don't put words in my mouth.
You were talking about
Don't put words in my mouth.
Mr. Terlinsky, Premier Developers, $1,000 per ticket fundraiser. You said to him he can discuss these matters at the planning board.
Two separate statements that were made, yes.
All right, last thing I wanted to discuss tonight is the continued absence of the bills list from the online agendas. As this council should know, certainly Mr. Graziano is aware, because he played an important part in it, the Board of Ed has their counterpart system, Board Docs. Since they rolled it out in January of 2018, when Mr. Graziano was a trustee, they've always made their bills list available online. That gives residents an opportunity to see how tax dollars are being spent before that governing body approves them. But yet, you guys have a counterpart system, iCompass Civic Web. For a brief period last year, the bills lists were included, but then suddenly they stopped. Now, I assume that Ms. Kavanaugh wouldn't have taken it upon herself to remove that. She must have been given an order from one of her superiors to stop making the bills list available. If you look at the agendas or the meeting procedures for every other township in New Jersey, they make their bills list available to their residents in one form or the other, either online or as printed agendas which they give out before the meeting. So residents have a chance to see how their tax dollars are being used. And you guys like to claim you're fully committed to openness and transparency. Mr. Graziano in particular, again, spearheaded the Board Doc system for the Board of Ed. Why is it that you will not make the bills list available to this date? It's a very simple matter. You did it briefly a year ago, and then you turned it off. We have the right to see how our tax dollars are being appropriated before you vote to approve them. And don't give us the facetious answer, well, if you want to submit an open request. That means that we have to wait at least 2 weeks after the fact to see how the tax dollars are being spent. It doesn't give us a chance to question what you want to do with those monies before you approve them. So please, if you're going to be faithful to your words about openness and transparency, would someone on this board please make a motion to require the bills list to be included in the agenda packet starting with the next meeting?
Thank you. Time is up. Anybody else in public comment? Question?
Carmela Fleischman at 33 Main Street. First of all, have we heard from the state about the lovely half done job on Main Street?
I have not.
Okay,
Nope.
can we make another phone call? Email,
I believe
rock through
Bobby
windows?
did, but I will.
We're gonna have her on Friday.
Thank you.
That's Meredith, right?
Okay, that's number one. Number two, over the past weekend, Nutley had a fall festival, lovely, in their park. I know we have, if I stand corrected, do we officially have a park, or is it just all part of Branch Brook?
When you say a park.
Does Belleville have a specific area that's not part of Branch Brook, which is a county, you know, do we have a park that we could call our own Belleville Park?
No, I mean, you're right, Belleville Park is within Branch Brook
It's
Park.
within Branch
But we do have parks in Belleville, it's just not part of the county park system.
Okay, all right, so if, with all the things that are coming, that you got, the council and you guys are doing, now, the food truck and things like that, could you discuss with Nutley, like, how they got, because they had a lot of vendors. I mean, it was a very nice turnout. They had it down near the Mud Hole, which is, I don't know the actual name of the park.
Yannickel Park. Yannickel Park.
Is that Yannickel on Chestnut?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I've always known it, since I'm a kid, I've always known it as the Mud Hole. Okay, all right, so if that could be done, because that was, like I said, it was a lovely festival, they had great, you know, they had great turnout for it. Like Nutley ShopRite was one of the sponsors, so I know we have a Belleville ShopRite, so that's something we can think about, because again, we're doing so many events, but as people come back out of COVID and, you know, more people are coming out and about, I think it would be nice to try to do more. Again, the farmer's market, nice, you know, nice start to it. Hopefully by next time it'll be, you know, tenfold, but, you know, it would be nice to get a little more. I'm done, because I'm pleased.
Thank you. Anybody else in public comment?
How you doing? Group Marguerite at Cedar Hill Avenue. I thought Tina Sabasio was going to be a whole list of Nick's questions. I want to, real quick, I want to thank the town manager for a quick reply. School 3, we're having a serious issue with driving down Union Avenue in the morning, from Geralman to, Division. And they're up to about 4 buses a morning. I get the populations up. Today they had a landscaping truck. They had a landscaping truck and 4 buses, and you got rows and rows and rows of triple. Now they're not double park anymore. They're triple park. So you got to go all the way around. So I don't know if I know you sent the message to the chief. I don't know if there's anything you can do for that, but somebody's going to get hurt. Because the people that aren't dropping off their kids get frustrated, and then they take off. With the new year comes the new rec season, and all you hear online is people complaining about the rec center. And it's not fair because those guys work like really hard. Tommy and the guy.
Are you to the rec center with?
Just recreation department in general, you know. And what I want to ask about that is there some way we can, like, you have the library board, you have the historical board, is there some way you guys can do some type of board to help them out? Because I know we're not looking to charge people for the rec center. I think it's great that we don't charge personally. But it's also, you know, we're also not able to fundraise. I had an award at work and they wanted to do a write-up on me and they asked if I could give somewhere to donate for them. And I wanted to do the rec center and I called down there. We don't even have a Venmo or a PayPal or a way to take money for if anybody did want to donate, you know. So I just think if we could get some concerned parents, because instead of everybody complaining, you know, it's not even the volunteer thing. It's just if we could get on board and try to just make our rec center a little bit better. Because for what we put up with and what we do, you know, they do a heck of a job. I think you said like 500 kids playing soccer or something like that between cheer and soccer was 500, 600 kids. You know, even if we did a raffle, something. But it just seems like we could keep it free, but it doesn't have. We could keep it better. So I know I've asked about the rec center a few other times, but that's really all I had. That and please, if you know, because I asked the school board about school 3, but there's nothing really they can do. They can't build a roundabout or anything, you know. But it's got to be something. It's parents that triple park to walk their kid down the ramp, you know. If you drive it, stop, drop, and roll, let them go. You know, kiss them at the door. You know, slow down to a slow roll and let them get out.
Worked right across the street from me.
I sent the video this morning, he'll show you, I had to literally drive on the other side of the road. And there's double parked on that side too, so you're running 5 abreast across, Union Avenue. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else in public comment? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
Motion to close. Second.
So we have a motion made and seconded to close public comment, and clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
DePena?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg? Mayor Melham?
Yes. Resolutions. Give everybody a minute.
You want to pull 10 and 11?
That's it. Anybody else?
Make a motion for the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded to the consent agenda. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
DePena?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Melham?
Yes. 10 and 11, can we do them together?
I think so.
We can, I'm saying,
Make
if
a
you guys
motion.
want to do them together.
Motion to move them together. I'm just looking for a roll call.
Okay, we have a motion to move number 10 and 11 together. We have a motion, we need a second.
Second.
We have a motion made and second. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Take no part.
DePena?
Yes.
Graziano?
Abstain.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
No.
Strumelberg?
No.
Mayor Melham?
Yes. Here too. Need a motion, new business.
Yeah, real quick, new business. Ruben brought up a good point. We used to have a little ad hoc committee, this was years ago, to do the cutouts where the buses go at all the schools. And we wound up doing number 7 school. And I think that worked great, right, Chief? That helped a lot of the problems at number 7.
Sure.
It did.
Seven is
So maybe we
it
can,
was a problem.
it was a thing.
Part of the problem is people don't know they can pass a school bus in front of the school.
Right, no, that's true.
So we need to educate the public.
Yeah.
To not stop past the school bus.
So I don't know, maybe we did, if you want to put 2 people on the committee, maybe the Board of Ed has 1 or 2 people. Gab? Good luck. Maybe look at doing that at some of the other schools. We did have a plan to do all the schools, but then, I don't know, whatever happened, I didn't come through.
I have something there.
Sure.
I'd just like to also share that today was groundbreaking for the pickleball. So we started,
I didn't see
I
that.
didn't want to jump on your coattails there because he's a holiday, so I said, hey.
I forgot that one.
Yeah, so for the town, pickleball is starting. The groundbreaking happened.
That's right. Anybody else, new business? No? Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.